So with the Prusa multi-material unit construction complete, it's time to prepare the printer so that it's ready to accept the MMU functionality, which involves modifying the extruder somewhat. So let's get started. Before going any further, you'll want to ensure you have a fully working printer to start with. The last thing you want is to add the MMU to an unreliable printer, as it'll cause further issues when troubleshooting later. As a test, proceed to print the Prusa nozzle replacement tool. It's a relatively straightforward print, but will come in very handy with nozzle replacement, if not now, then in the future. It's not a particularly long print either, at less than 30 minutes, but is a good test to check everything is working okay with the default core printer. Once done, examine the print to ensure quality is as expected. I'm pretty happy with the results here, so we're safe to proceed with the MMU installation. So begin by unloading and removing any filament from both the extruder as well as the spool holder, before moving the extruder's position so that we have plenty of working space around it, and after allowing time for the hot end to fully cool down, switch off and disconnect power from the printer completely. Should you own the MK4s, as in my example, the supplied high-flow nozzle can cause issues with the MMU3 setup, so it's recommended to switch to a standard nozzle instead, which is thankfully included in the package. Doing this is a relatively straightforward procedure, although begin by protecting the heat bed just in case anything should drop down, after which we can put that nozzle replacement tool that we printed earlier to use. With it clipped into place, it will hold the heat block firmly in position, so we can now slightly release the two side thumb screws before unscrewing the nozzle itself, which comes away nice and easy. We'll replace with the non-high flow nozzle after we've finished with the gearbox assembly upgrade. Okay, so we can get to work now, starting by opening the idler swivel and then loosening the M3x25 screws holding the gearbox cover in place, irrespective of whether you have the older unit with 4 screws or the newer version with 3. Loosen the screws completely but leave them in place for the moment just to hold the different layers of the cover in place, while we proceed to then remove all the layers off of the extruder together, along with the entire gearbox assembly. If the small metal washer should come away with the gearbox assembly, remove it and place it back onto the motor shaft, while then taking the chance to clean any excess grease on the assembly. Now, if you did have the 3-screw version, you can proceed to remove this final set screw in order to remove the idler door, after which we can release the 2 M3x30 screws, complete with their springs, in order to remove the idler swivel assembly. Okay, so next we'll need to remove the Nextruder's filament sensor, located here, considering we've moved this to the MMU3 unit itself. Remember, this has a spring and steel ball inside, so gently pull the plastic piece out, taking care not to lose the ball and spring contained within, and as we won't be reusing these, the assembly can be safely stored away for future use. Back to the idler door next, which we need to deconstruct and move across to the newly supplied door instead. If you have a MK4s, you can actually skip this step, as the material is the same, but with the MK4 and older, the door is printed in PETG, while the newer is PCCF. Thankfully, it's a relatively simple process, involving removing the single screw. In order to move all bearings and posts, using needle nose pliers also helps here, before reconstructing the same configuration using the new idler door parts, and then secure with the existing screw. Again, the old 3D printed parts can be bagged away and will not be used any further. The idler swivel assembly comes next, and the new parts create a completely different mechanism. So begin by removing the 2 screws holding the assembly together. In order to deconstruct the entire part, we'll be reusing the nuts and metal spacer. The remaining screws and printed parts can be stored away, and we'll be using our new printed parts to construct a new idler swivel assembly. Starting with this piece then, insert a tiny magnet into the available opening. Orientation doesn't matter here, so just concentrate on getting the tiny magnet in place. With that done, locate the swivel part with the larger neck and proceed to insert a single M3x22 screw into the opening nearer to the neck, before dropping on the metal spacer salvaged from the previous assembly, after which we can insert a second M3x22 screw into the next opening. and slide on the part with the installed magnet, taking care to orientate correctly as shown in my example here. With that confirmed, slide on the remaining side, and secure the entire assembly using the M3 lock nuts, again salvaged from the previous assembly, although taking care not to over tighten. The entire assembly should be able to rotate and move relatively freely, and check to ensure that tiny magnet is still seated in place. Okay, so on to the tensioning screws next, a longer M3x35 set this time round so we're not reusing the old, and insert both through the screw guide before dropping on the springs. Set these aside for the moment, as we'll now work on our gearbox assembly. Start by carefully disassembling all layers. At this point you can also go ahead and clean off any excess grease too, if need be. We'll be reusing all these parts, other than the printed plate, which can therefore be removed and stored away, as it will be replaced with a new plate instead. As this plate goes through a lot of stress while in use, the new plate, seen on the right here, is printed with MJF technology, a process that fuses the plastic together rather than standard FDM printing. So it's important you use the new plate even though it may look very similar to the old. Note this is regarded as a consumable part, so you will find a second spare set included in the package. We just need to use the one for now, and start by inserting a rubber O-ring into the inner groove, making sure it's fully inserted all the way round. And with that done, we can move back to reconstructing the extruder assembly. We'll start by reinstalling the M3x25 set screw into the lower left corner, followed by the idler door, with bearings facing inwards of course. And with that done, we need to install the idler's swivel mechanism back onto the top of the heatsink, although when placing into position, take care to ensure the protruding part of the idler with its magnet slides inside the filament sensor pocket in the heatsink. This is a very important step. Once in place, secure using the tension screws complete with springs through the heatsink and towards the swivel assembly. Tighten both gradually a little at a time until the ends of the screws are flush with the surface of the idler nut part on the opposite side. Okay, with the idler door assembly done now, we can move across to the main extruder assembly, starting with the new main plate. Note the notch in the bottom corner, which will seat around the idler door set screw previously inserted, with the protruding parts of the main plate facing inwards. At this point, ensure the lever on the swivel assembly fits correctly into the cutout on the main plate. We now need to attach the main gear assembly onto the motor shaft, check to ensure the tiny spacer is still in place, and proceed to very carefully insert the gear assembly onto the shaft. While doing this, watch out for any deformation or damage to that O-ring. Ensure the O-ring stays properly seated in its groove on the main plate. Once confirmed, cover the gears with the supplied plastic tool, and lower the gear ring down, chamfered edge facing inwards of course, onto the gear assembly, wiggling the tool and ring until the teeth mesh. No force should be used at all here. Once the teeth mesh nicely, it should fall into place with relative ease, after which we can remove the tool. At this point, add some fresh grease to the gear assembly, before covering with the top plate, and securing the corners with the original M3x25 screws, only until snug. Over-tightening these can cause the gears inside to bind. The idler door can then be closed here too. Finally, slide the non-high flow nozzle into place, and secure into position by screwing back into the heat block until it's nice and snug, before tightening the two thumb screws to keep the nozzle assembly in place, and then proceed to remove the nozzle replacement tool. And with that, we're done with the Nextruder modifications. All that's left is to attach the MMU3 unit and power up in order to complete initial calibration before we get printing.